Hello, my name is Christopher. I'm a senior developer at AiQu, and in this video I will show you how to uh, build a Docker image, push it to an external registry, and then using it in AiQu. So let's start with Docker Hub. You don't have to push an image specifically to Docker Hub. It can be any external registry. But for my purposes, I'm gonna push to Docker Hub. I have created a repository called custom, which I will be using to push my image to. Right now, there's no images in here, so I'm going to go ahead and create a Docker file and uh, build an image. So here we have a Docker file which will be used to build the Docker image. And inside the Docker file, we have a few commands, and I'm gonna go through each to explain what they mean. We start with the from tag, which specifies the image that will be used as the base image for your build. So here I start with an NVIDIA container registry image with TensorFlow library on it. Next, we have a few commands for running inside that base base image. So first I will update the sources inside it. Then I will install pip, Python 3 pip. And after that I will install Jupyter Lab. These are running sequence, and it's the same as basically creating an image and then running them inside the bash shell or any other shell. Then we have expose, which isn't um, directly important for your container. It's more of a documentation after it is started. It is just documenting what kind of ports you have open inside the container. Then we have the entry point, which is the actual process that will be run inside the container as its starting process. So when we start the container, it will be this command that is run. And in this case, it's the Jupyter Lab with IP address 0000, which is presented on every IP address that you have available there. And then we have token to none, password to none, and port 8888, and a few others to just allow it to run with no security, allow root, since the user that is used inside the container is root by default. So let's go ahead and build this image. So we use docker build for building it, and then we have to specify a tag. And I set the tag inside Docker Hub as custom, so I'm gonna call it that. And then we need to specify the directory which is used as the build directory. It is required that you set it. It's not really required in my file right now. If I had a file that I needed to copy inside the container, like for example this config file, then I might use config.json to/config.json, and this is the build directory. So if you wanted to, you could give the parent directory as the build directory, and then you would have to modify this path. But if you have files already in a folder above, you might want to set it to another build folder to be able to pull files from there, since Docker can't reach for files outside its build directory. It can only go for files inside it. I won't be needing this, so I will delete it. And let's build it. So this is now built. It's called Docker IO library custom, which is all fine, but we need it to be at a different address to be able to push it. Since if we have a look at Docker Hub, we see we need a username before the custom tag. So I'm going to retag it so we can push it directly there. Then we just use docker tag and we specify custom, which is the image name, and then we specify it as a username and custom. And we can also tag it with latest. It has the latest tag per default, but you never know. It's always good to tag your images. So let's push it. I am already logged in to Docker registry here. If you are not logged in, you can just log in with Docker login. And if it's an external registry that is not Docker Hub, then you just need to input the address here. So for example, we have a Docker registry connected to AiQu, which is registry.aiqu.ai. So if I wanted to log in there, I would simply put in registry.aiqu.ai here. And of course, if I wanted to push it there, I would also have to retag it to registry.aiqu.ai here, so that it knows where to push it. So if I wanted to push this custom image to my registry instead in AiQu, I would go with AI/custom. But for now, I just want to push it to Docker Hub. So let's do a Docker push with that image. And I need to log in. Let's see here. Now we can push it. This will usually take a little while. Most of the layers are probably already up there since I have only a few custom commands and the rest are just from the NVIDIA TensorFlow image, which should be already be on there, I'm thinking. So it shouldn't take too long. You can also see here if it has been pushed, that it will show up here in the tags. I can also mention that I created mine as a public repository. It doesn't need to be public, it can be private, but then you will have to set your credentials before you pull the image, since it will need to come from a private registry instead of a public. With a public, you can just go ahead and put in that name into AiQu and it will pull it. But with a private, we of course need to log in before we pull it. So that's something to note. It's taking a little while to push up. We can go ahead and have a look at AiQu, how you would use it here. If we go ahead and just set a few parameters, we name it test for test job. we have one GPU. We can choose 8 CPUs, 64 GB of memory, and let's do 45 minutes of runtime. And then we choose the Docker IO, which is Docker Hub's URL. And then we just need to input the name of the image, which was custom, and my username. So that should be all that was required. We also should set the port. We opened 8888 inside the container, and we probably also want to be able to access that from outside when we have started the job. We can also go ahead and mount some storage to it. It won't be required, but it's never a bad idea to have an external storage connected to your job. So let's have a look at how it is doing. It is almost done. Just a few more gigabytes. So after it is pushed, we'll be able to start the job with simply this image, with this name, and Docker IO as the registry. And it will be able to pull it directly from Docker Hub. And it is almost done. There we go. So now we should be able to see the tag inside Docker Hub, and there we have it. So it is up. So now let's go ahead and queue this job. And it will be starting soon. We already have available GPUs and available CPUs. We can have a look at port we have defined, so we will be able to open that and then view the Jupyter lab server that will be running here. We also need to open it from inside AiQu, since 8888 is just started inside the container, but it hasn't been opened yet inside AiQu. So this is gonna download the image. So I can show a bit more about the entry point. This is the process that will be running, but you can also do it like with a command. So the entry point can just be Jupyter Lab, and then you can set the parameters as a command string instead, and then it will be used like this is what is started and these are the parameters, and then if you want to run your container you can change the command very simply, just giving the command after the image. So for example you could use this, and then if you want to set a different IP, for example, you could set it with just like so, and then you will this command will be replaced with this instead. So that is a pretty handy way to make images where you have a bit of flexibility in the parameters. In my case, I don't really need it, but so now the image has been downloaded and the job has been started. So let us go ahead and open the port. We will open it privately since it is HTTP in the backend, and that affords us a bit of extra security. And here we can see it has loaded, and now we can access the Docker container and the Jupyter Lab that is running inside it directly from the address provided to us by AiQu. We can also see the logs from the Jupyter Lab from the server that is running inside the container, since it is the main process that is running inside it. That was all I wanted to show you in this video. Thank you for watching.